Going live in 4, 3, 2. Hello everybody and welcome back to another commentary on my YouTube channel. This is going to be a good one. We have our Hayley Kaplan deck, if you remember from my previous video, some time back. This is going to be a fast one. My opponent won't even see what is coming. He's playing RP, he's going slow, he's going to drag the game out, but I'm not going to let him do because I'm going to score 7 agenda points with my legwork and my Maker's Eye and my indexing all the way through. Can I be a sports commentator? Probably not, because you don't understand what half the things I'm saying right now because I'm speaking too fast. Sorry. Anyway, so yes, if you haven't checked out my previous video on Hayley Kaplan, be sure to do so. Well, okay, if you're too lazy to check it out, I'll just give it to you. It's basically the prepaid voice pad money engine with more event cards and Comet to bounce them all off for super efficiency. So, let's get things going. Let's start the game. Let's go, let's go, let's go. What are you waiting for? Start, draw your first card, and let's see what you're gonna do. The amazing thing is my opening hand has both HQ and R&D pressure, and the moment he spent his first 2 clicks celebrity gifting, I knew that was going to come out on top because I was going to be able to raid one of those servers using my multi-access card. In this case, he very wisely put his pup over HQ. Had he put R&D, had he put the pup on HQ to defend the future perfect, I would have raided R&D with indexing and Maker's Eye. He wouldn't be a happy boy. So I spent my first turn setting up by clicking for 2 credits and playing the Comet. This is not very efficient. I probably should have played Lucky Find into Comet, but I decided to do this anyway because the next turn I'm definitely going to Lucky Find into one of the multi-access events. Since he doesn't ice up HQ, I'm just going to get a free legwork here and almost certainly access the future perfect I saw from his celebrity gift. I failed the side game. But I do get to trash his Sundew, and that's a good thing. Now, I keep in mind that it is still a pup on R&D, a single pup. If he does not continue icing up, I will index his R&D after a Maker's Eye, and this should prove to be pretty interesting. Now the bad news is I haven't seen any of my draw cards yet, so I'm actually clicking for cards, which is incredibly inefficient. Worse, I don't have prepaid voice pads with me, so I'm not getting the most out of my lucky finds. He shows the pup, and I see 5 cards. There are no agendas. Very sad news. But there is a Marcus Betty, and I'm definitely going to trash the Marcus Betty because obvious reasons. So once I'm done with that, I draw up into an I've had worse, and I proceed to trash the Marcus Betty. Now I was thinking here whether to pay through the pup or to take the net damage. I chose the net damage instead, and I got pretty much the worst combination. Both of Asher and Maker's Eye were trashed. I wanted it to hit I've had worse, so I'll get free draw, and I really need the Asher and the Maker's Eye against RP. You really need to place that Crix in a better position. The Susano's in a worse position, and the Maker's Eye really is so effective at getting those R&D multi-accesses. So I continue drawing up here, and I find a gamble which I chain with I've had worse. There's no point trying to fire off the I've had worse from net damage now, so I'll just pay the 1 credit to get through the card draw. I still haven't found my prepaid voice pads yet, which, as if you have ever played prepaid Cape before, you know that is one of the most annoying things that can ever happen. It means that you probably won't have money to do stuff for the rest of the game. In this case, I cannot afford to trash his mental health clinic, so I'm just going to let him get all his money and hope that with my Breaker Suite I can get through most of his ice fairly easily and Asher the annoying ones out. I find my second legwork and it pays off heavily with Nisei Mark II. With 3 clicks left, I continue with another event in the form of Dirty Laundry because I need to get rid of cards from my hand, and I find another Nisei Mark II. Whoa, okay. You can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, sure, he has 18 credits, he has lots of assets going for him, but when you steal 2 Nisei Mark IIs, you've got to feel good on top of the world. And that's exactly where I am right now. The game's not over yet. If there's any corp that can come back from a double steal like this, it's RP. Where their agendas still defend themselves very well, so I cannot be too complacent. He shows me a couple of ice, Susano, Ichi, Eli, Celebrity Gift, and something. Caprice Nisei, yes. So I immediately perform a Maker's Eye because he neglected to ice up R&D. So hopefully I'm going to go off for the win right here. I see NAPD, Toe Wolf, Sundew. Not being able to steal the NAPD is quite a big mistake, but on the same token, the future perfect is what I'm looking for because I need one 3-pointer to win the game rather than two 2-pointers, which is much harder to accomplish. Furthermore, my economy is really not looking good at all because I played most of my econ cards already. It's not good news. Having played most of my econ cards means that I am very likely not going to see any more econ cards from drawing. So I need to survive with what little I have, and without prepaid voice pads, this is just going to be very difficult. I still haven't set up my rig, if you have realized. I still need to install my study guide and snowball, ideally using Hayley's ability. And yeah, not having money is a real pain, and I still need money to install prepaid voice pads as well. So it was a good start, but things are going downhill pretty quickly for me. I don't think I'm able to place enough pressure to finish the game off. So at this point, I'm just going to try to build up my board state, click for credits, hopefully find my prepaid voice pads and get things going. And maybe contest his remote once it gets to late game. So he finally does Ice Up R&D, and I'm pretty sure that's a toe move, so I'm not going to bother face checking it. Now that he has finally protected his R&D, he's got a feel safe. Because he won't have any agendas in HQ, he'll just bury them with the daily business show. I could attempt to deny his daily business show, but just look at my credit pool. With no prepaid voice pads and no semblance of money, the only real way to trash the DBS is to stem hack into it, and that is probably not something I want to do right now. Without installing my programs first, that could be a huge problem. Although I guess I really should have tried to clear the DBS from his hand so that I can pressure his HQ with dirty laundry runs every now and then. Instead, I'm going to give him the time to set up his remote, scoring remote, so now my only hope is that he doesn't draw into the third Nisei Mark II. If he scores stuff like NAPD or even Future Perfect, I'm still fine, as long as he doesn't begin scoring Nisei Mark II, because that will just close whatever opportunities I might have. So here, I finally make use of Hayley's ability. I think this is the first time I use Hayley's ability this game, to install both programs, my decoder and my fractor, as well as get my first PPVP going. Finally, a prepaid voice pad, but it's a little too late. I only have one credit right now. I almost certainly will have to use the same old thing for money card. Probably Lucky Find. So here I click for a credit, and I play Lucky Find, bringing it up to 9, chaining into a diesel. But that means I've lost all my clicks, because the Lucky Find took 3 clicks. So now I'm forced to trash some stuff from my hand. I forgot that Mental Health Clinics were on the board. I didn't need to trash anything from my hand. You idiot. What an idiot. What an idiot. Oh my gosh. That levy should stay in my hand. What was I thinking? You have to make use of the advantages that the Corp Disc gives you. In this case, the extra hand size. Oh man, I am so stupid. That would have changed the game. Not having to save my last same old thing for the levy. I was counting the number of same old things in my heap. There were 2. I know I run 3 same old things, so there's 1 more in my deck. But I should be levying from hand. That saves me so much more. Oh gosh. Okay. So, enough of that. Let's look over the mistakes and let's get things going. I have 2 prepaid voice pads and I could install them with modded. The problem with using modded at this point is, firstly, I don't have an event to chain into, except Stim Hack. I guess I could Stim Hack, but more importantly, because it's not worth it to mod something in for 2 credits when I could be modding in a dagger for 3 credits. So here I find a Dirty Laundry. That is an event I want to chain into. So I'm most probably going to mod in the dagger here, chaining into a cloak, chaining into a Dirty Laundry, because Hayley is so efficient. And this is why I play this deck in Hayley. To be honest, I forgot to Dirty Laundry his hand. I should have Dirty Laundry his hand. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. Or maybe I already used Comet. In any case, yes, prepaid Kate would be actually a better ID choice in this scenario, because I was struggling with credits for the longest time. Hayley is nice when it works, but most of the time you won't have 2 hardware or 2 programs in your hand to make use of Hayley's ability, and if you do, you're just gimping yourself, because you're doing things very inefficiently. So I install my same old thing for the last click, And with 3 prepaid voice pets now, I can feel comfortable levying. He gets another agenda going, so once again, I can only hope that this agenda isn't a Nisei Mark II, because that would really put me on the back foot. Now, if you notice, I finally started using my cloak credits to charge up my study guide, because now that I have 2 cloaks, I can charge it up for free. At this point, I performed the stim hack. I would like to get rid of the stim hack from my hand before levying. Might as well make use of the stim hack credits to pump my study guide up to 5 before, and then take the toll boost 3 credit tags before jacking out. Actually, no, I don't jack out. Obviously, I get the access. I see a hedge fund. It's not of any consequence, but now the most important thing is that my study guide is now at 5 tokens. So that's very good news. 5 tokens means that I can get through toll booth for 4, which is one of the most efficient ways to get through toll booth nowadays. And thankfully for me, I levied, because this guy was trying to be sneaky. He had a Chronos project waiting for me. Whew, I dodged a bullet right there. But he is now chaining more and more agendas into each other, and that is really bad news. I have good reason to believe that the agenda he just slipped into the remote is a Nisei Mark II, and that will end my game. But I can't do anything about that right now, so I have no R&D multi-access, and if I run into the remote, I know bad things will happen. I saw the Ichi and the Susano from his hand. I know full well that there's a Marcus Betty in that remote. Marcus Betty into Ichi is death. Complete death. I do not want to lose my study guide with 5 tokens on. And even if I do get past the Marcus Betty, I still have to deal with the Susano, which costs 2 cloak credits. Ichi costs 1 cloak credit. In other words, there's no way I'm getting through that remote without an Escher, which is what I'm looking for right now. Either an Escher or some form of R&D multi-access. It's not going to happen. The quality time didn't draw into R&D multi-access. It did not draw into Escher, despite my deck being smaller than before. This is awful news. Suddenly, the game has gotten much harder. The good start that I had is now completely wiped out, and he has the advantage because he's at match point with a Nisei Mark II token. I run the crit here to force the Jackson out, so finally he's out of DBS, so he hopefully shouldn't be able to power draw for his agenda, final agenda, and without Jackson, he won't be able to power draw as well. So at this point, it's really about buying extra time for me to find my multi-access cards before he gets the last agenda into the remote. With my final click, I install 2 same old things. It's the most logical move there is, but this is not going to really help because he top decks a future perfect and he begins scoring it. Or maybe it wasn't a top deck, but he might have had it in hand all the time, but in any case, it's now in the remote and you can bet your life that that's an agenda that he's going to win the game with. What am I to do? The most obvious choice here is to quality time for options, and with the quality time, I'm able to chain into a Maker's Eye. Hopefully I'll hit the future perfect on R&D. That's basically my only hope of winning at this point, or getting 2 NAPDs in a row. So the multi-access will really determine how this game ends up. He decides not to use the Nisei token, and I see a Sundew, which I trash, a Toll Booth, and a Jackson Howard, so that's game. With 2 clicks left, I cannot possibly do anything. I could contest his remote, but once again, I completely wrote off that option because Susano consumes all my cloak tokens. I won't have enough cloak tokens to get through Ichi, and Marcus Betty will just end my game anyway, before I can even get in through that. So with R&D blanking out, with remote unaccessible, with nothing in archives, the only server left to pressure is HQ. I have a legwork in the hand, so that's the most logical thing to do right now. After a bit of deliberation, I finally fired off the legwork, and you can probably guess there was nothing in his hand because I did not attempt to deny his daily business show throughout the entire game. So I deserved to lose because I did not control his card draw. He got out of control, seeing the last Nisei Mark II much faster than I would have liked because I let the DBS run off for so many turns, and that was the main reason why I lost this game. Oh, what a traversity. Can you believe it? Can you believe that just happened? He was up 4 agenda points. He was up 2 agendas on Nisei Mark II, the best agenda in the game, and he blew it. He completely blew it. He was going so fast, so furious. He was doing so very well early game, and then he just let off the steam. He put the pedal back to the metal, and it just hurt like crazy. Just like my unsportsman-like commentary, it was a traffic accident. He was going so fast, and then he smashed into a brick wall, and it all turned out badly. And that was because I made way too many mistakes that caused me to reduce my tempo after stealing the two agendas, which led to my loss. I should have kept up the pressure, but I wasn't able to because I lost one of my Maker's Eye to the net damage from the pub, which I willingly took. This is a much more important card than I first gave it credit for. And losing it is actually very painful because now I'm forced to rely on the same old things for Maker's Eye, which means that it is very click inefficient, and it means that there's less same old things to use on money. Not trashing Jackson and DBS was another huge mistake. I didn't have the tempo to do it early on, but I really should have found the time to do it mid-game before he dropped his Nisei with it. Basically, it would have taken him twice as long to win had it not been for the DBS, and that would have given me a window to do something. Some of you might be wondering about Study Guide. This game proves, or rather, this game was an example of how it works very well. It is the best single decoder, in my opinion, in the game. It works early on against small code gates, and later on you can build it up for some incredible power. And by that I mean incredible efficiency. Multiple runs on R&D and archives were not going to cost me anything. That was a very amazing part about Study Guide, and the best thing is that you can always assure the Crick and Toll Booth onto R&D for easy runs later on. It was very well also because it synergizes very well with Cloak. So even though I had two Cloaks up, but I wasn't breaking any sentries at all, the Cloaks were still pulling their weight by pumping up the Study Guide whenever I wasn't running during my turns. Study Guide is definitely a liability in faster matchups where they try to rush agendas behind a single Lotus Field or an Enigma. There's not much you can do about that, but with Stim Hack, as you saw this game, that should hopefully alleviate the problems a little bit. So I look to play this. I'm definitely looking to continue practicing with this deck because it's pretty good, and I think it's definitely more powerful than most people give it credit for. Thanks for watching and happy net running.